It all began with whispers. Rumors started swirling that Kennedy was preparing another presidential run, this time for 2028. For a man whose family name is etched into the history of American politics, such speculation isn't unusual. But what made this story explode was the way it was fueled online through fiery posts, conspiracy-driven influencers, and a sense that Kennedy himself might be keeping secrets. Social media caught fire, and within hours, RFK Jr 2028 was trending. Americans wondered, was he really gearing up for another attempt at the White House? Then came his answer. In a sharp and unapologetic statement, Kennedy didn't just deny the rumors, he called them a flat-out lie. His words cut through the noise with a tone of frustration, almost daring critics to keep pushing. He wasn't running, he said, and he wanted the world to hear it. For supporters, this was clarity. For skeptics, it was only fuel for further speculation. Because in politics, sometimes saying never only makes people ask why not. But while that storm was still brewing, Kennedy himself added a whole new layer to the conversation. As part of his Make America Healthy Again campaign, known as MAHA, he released a video that looked more like a reality stunt than a policy pitch. There he was, climbing a steep cliff at Colorado's Garden of the Gods Park, pulling Dr. Mehmet Oz up the rocks alongside him. The message, it seemed, was about health, strength, and resilience. But the timing couldn't have been worse. At the very same moment, news was breaking about a shooting at the CDC headquarters. To many, it felt tone-deaf, even careless, to be staging a dramatic stunt while a national tragedy unfolded. The backlash was swift. Critics called it reckless, while others labeled it a distraction from serious issues. And then, as if that wasn't enough, Kennedy's long-anticipated MAHA report was released. Expectations had been sky-high. Supporters believed it might offer bold, sweeping reforms for the health crisis in America. Instead, what the public got was a document heavy on research, light on action. More studies, more analysis, but not the transformative solutions people were hoping for. The response was disappointment, even frustration. Commentators described it as muted, underwhelming, and a missed opportunity. Once again, Kennedy's name was everywhere, not for the strength of his proposals, but for the gap between promise and delivery. Put all of this together, and it's no surprise Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is trending across the United States. In the span of just a few days, he denied a presidential bid, drew attention with a controversial stunt, and faced criticism for a lukewarm policy report. Whether you admire him or disagree with him, one thing is clear: Kennedy has mastered the art of staying in the conversation. He knows how to spark headlines, even when those headlines don't always work in his favor.
Whose inspiring story of politician would you like to hear next? Tell us in the comments below.